Most people spend their lives chasing approval, trying to fit in, be liked, stay accepted. But the moment you turn your focus inward, everything changes. You stop begging for validation and start building inner power. When you focus on you, your mind sharpens, your peace deepens, and your clarity becomes unshakable. This is how real leaders are made. Ignore yourself, and you'll stay at the mercy of everyone else's opinion. But own yourself, and nothing can shake you. The strongest minds are built in silence. In just a few moments, you'll understand why the more you focus on yourself, the stronger your mind, your life becomes. When you focus on yourself, you shift from being a passenger in life to becoming its driver. This isn't just a poetic metaphor. It is a fundamental law of achievement. Most people live reactively. They are pulled by distractions, bent by opinions, and steered by the noise of the world. They hand over the steering wheel of their life to circumstance, waiting for approval, waiting for direction, waiting for luck. But there is a rare type of person, someone who makes a decision to turn inward, to focus the lens on their own thoughts, beliefs, and actions. That person begins to shape destiny. The moment you redirect your attention to yourself, something miraculous happens. You start to see not the mask you wear to fit in, not the illusion you've built to please others, but the raw, unfiltered truth, the potential waiting to be activated. You begin to see your patterns, how you respond to pressure, how you talk to yourself, how you treat your own dreams. And in seeing those things, you gain what few possess, clarity. Clarity leads to control, and control is the first brick of power. When you control your thoughts, your responses, your energy, you become immune to chaos. You stop absorbing other people's anxiety. You stop reacting to every spark thrown your way. You begin to move with purpose, guided by something stronger than impulse. That, my friend, is when your strength becomes visible. The Bible offers timeless counsel in Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart with all diligence, for from it flow the springs of life. Your heart, your inner world, is the source from which all things flow. If your inner world is confused, your outer life will be chaotic. If your mind is scattered, your results will be the same. But when your inner world is guarded and focused, your outer world reflects order, power, and peace. Florence Nightingale understood this principle. Born into privilege, she could have remained comfortably silent. Society expected her to host parties, marry well, and remain in the shadows. But she listened inward, not outward. She felt a divine call to serve, and that inward focus gave her the courage to walk into war hospitals, to defy bureaucracy, and to revolutionize medicine. If she had listened to the noise of the world would have remained noisier, sicker, more chaotic. But because she focused inward, she brought healing out. And now it's your turn. You have a destiny that cannot be discovered externally. It must be unlocked from within. The strongest people you admire didn't get there by luck or validation. They turned their focus inward, identified what needed to grow, what needed to die, and what needed to be built. Then they worked, silently, consistently, with fierce intention. So start now. Begin by noticing where your attention goes. Are you always watching others? Are you always reacting? Or are you shaping yourself each day? The world doesn't need another person trying to please the crowd. The world needs you clear, focused, powerful. Your strength begins with your attention. And the moment you direct it inward, you stop being a passenger in life. You take the wheel. Drive. To focus on yourself does not mean to be selfish. It means to be strategic. It means you understand that if the foundation is weak, the entire structure will crumble. The world will often call you self-centered for stepping away to rebuild yourself. Let them talk. What they call selfish is, in truth, sacred. For the person who does not take care of their inner world will soon have nothing of substance to offer the outer world. We live in a culture that celebrates the grind and glorifies exhaustion. People wear burnout like a badge of honor. But the truth is simple. You cannot pour from an empty cup. When you are drained, you operate from survival, not vision. You make decisions based on fear instead of faith. But when you focus on nourishing yourself, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, you operate from overflow. Your relationships deepen. Your influence expands. Your energy becomes magnetic because your fountain becomes unshakable. In Philippians 4:13, Paul declares, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Yet that strength is not a magical burst. It is built like steel forged in fire. Your inner power grows through challenge, repetition, and intentionality. Strength is not something you wait to feel. It's something you create by consistent choices. You train your mind. You condition your responses. You refuse to bow to distraction. That is how focus becomes your weapon. George Washington Carver was not handed a throne. He built one with dirt beneath his feet. Born into slavery, given little access to education, he rose to become a scientific innovator and a force of nature in agriculture. Not because the world cleared a path for him, but because he created his own. He invested in knowledge. He preserved his energy for creation, not complaint. And because he focused on growth, the world had no choice but to take notice. You must do the same. Every day you're given two choices. Scatter your energy outward, trying to be everything for everyone, or direct your energy inward, fortifying the person who can impact everything. When you train your body, you're not just building muscle, you're building discipline. When you read, you're not just consuming facts, you're expanding your world. When you say no to something that drains you, you say yes to something that builds you. Focus is not selfish. It is sacred stewardship of your potential. And do not misunderstand, this path is not easy. Distractions will scream. People will doubt you. Guilt may try to creep in. But remember this, greatness demands separation before elevation. You cannot rise while entangled in everything and everyone. Strategic focus requires boundaries, and boundaries are the birthplace of strength. Your life is a field. You can sow seeds of distraction, or you can sow seeds of destiny. The harvest you receive depends on where you choose to pour your time, energy, and attention. So plant wisely. Protect your ground. Water the roots of your mind with intention. Because the moment you stop trying to fix everything around you and start focusing on what lies within, you become unstoppable. Focus is not a limitation. It is the key to multiplication. Use it wisely. Let it guide you. Because through it, your greatness walks. Most people spend their lives facing outward, trying to fix others, win arguments, or chase after applause. They measure their value by external reactions, spending precious energy trying to shape opinions that were never theirs to hold. But the truth, though uncomfortable, is liberating. The only person you can truly change is you. Real transformation doesn't begin with the world. It begins with self-mastery. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm. The winds roar. The rain beats down. You cannot silence the thunder or calm the sky, but you can build a ship, one strong enough to carry you through it. That ship is your mind, and the material it is built from: focus, discipline, inner clarity. You cannot control the chaos outside, but you can conquer the chaos within. Romans 12:2 gives us a blueprint. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The world's pattern says, react, retaliate, respond to noise with more noise. But transformation demands that you renew daily, intentionally, persistently. You do not drift into clarity. You focus into it. Harriet Tubman is a living testimony to the power of internal mastery. She did not ask for permission. She did not wait for applause. She listened inward. She trusted divine whispers more than public opinion. And because she mastered herself, her fear, her focus, her faith, she led others to freedom. She walked through danger with a spirit trained in solitude. That's what you must become. A leader not because you crave attention, but because your inner fire lights the path for others. You are not battling the world. You are battling the noise within you, the self-doubt, the fear of rejection, the addiction to praise. You must break those chains, and they are chains. Make no mistake. Distraction tells you to scroll instead of study. Doubt tells you to quit before you begin. Validation tells you to shrink your voice until others approve. But focus tells a different story. Focus whispers, go inward. Focus invites you to silence the outer world so you can strengthen your inner one. And here's the beautiful result. When you master yourself, you move differently. You walk into rooms with an energy that shifts the atmosphere, not because you're loud, but because you're anchored. You carry storms inside you, and you calm everyone else's. You don't chase peace, you bring it. You don't seek clarity, you are it. This is what focus produces. It gives you dominion not over others, but over the only battlefield that matters, your own mind. And from that dominion, you gain the power to influence. Not through force, but through presence. Not through noise, but through alignment. So stop exhausting your life trying to change what is not yours to change. Withdraw your energy from criticism, comparison, and chaos, and reinvest it into mastery. Learn your patterns. Study your thoughts. Rewrite your beliefs. Because the higher version of you isn't out there. It's already inside you, waiting to be disciplined, directed, and deployed. Let your mind become the ship that sails steady through every storm. Let focus be your compass, and let transformation begin. Not someday, but today. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you cast a vote for your future self. It doesn't have to be grand or dramatic. It's the quiet decisions, the 5 a.m. wake up, the salad instead of sugar, the extra hour studying while others sleep, that forge the life you desire. Discipline is not a punishment. It's a passport. Every small act of discipline lays a brick, and while the world may not see what you're building, heaven does. More importantly, you do. The structure is invisible at first, but the stronger it grows, the more unshakable you become. Comfort is seductive. It tells you rest now, skip today, just this once. But the price of comfort today is regret tomorrow. You must build with intention, and when the temptation comes to take the easy path, remember, you're not building for now, you're building for what's next. Your future self is counting on you. Matthew 7:24 speaks of the wise man who built his house upon the rock. The rains came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall because it had its foundation on the rock. That's what focus on yourself creates, a rock beneath your feet, a mind anchored in conviction, a life that doesn't fall apart in storms. You don't escape life's challenges. You endure them because your structure is solid. Booker T. Washington understood this truth. Born into slavery, he didn't have privilege or access, but he had will. He walked miles just to reach education. He scrubbed classrooms just to stay enrolled. He became a student when others said he shouldn't, and then he became a teacher when others said he couldn't. He didn't wait for the world to change. He built strength in silence, brick by brick, lesson by lesson, sweat by sweat. He didn't need ideal conditions. He needed consistency. And so do you. You don't need the perfect gym, the perfect mentor, the perfect moment. You need one choice, one commitment, one step forward, repeated again and again until momentum takes over. Strength is not built in moments of ease. It is forged in fire, in the reps you push through when no one is watching, in the nights you stay disciplined while others indulge, in the decisions that make no noise but change everything. Don't worry if no one notices you're disciplined. Don't expect applause. The strongest foundations are underground. The deepest roots are hidden. Your effort is not in vain. One day, when the storms of life come, and they will come, you will stand firm while others crumble. Not because you're lucky, but because you're built. Every act of self-discipline is a declaration. You're telling the world, I am not here to be shaken. I am here to be steady. You're declaring war on weakness. You're declaring love for your future. And every brick matters. So today, choose the hard path, the lonely road, the early alarm, the quiet grind. Because that's where transformation lives. That's where greatness begins. And when the flood comes, when the wind howls, when the world trembles, your house will still be standing. Why? Because you built it right. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers, but you will never hear them if you keep running from yourself. In this modern world, noise has become the addiction of the anxious. People fear silence because it forces them to listen to their doubts, their regrets, and their unlived dreams. But if you're brave enough to sit in stillness, you'll hear something far more valuable: clarity. The strongest minds are not built in chaos. They're forged in solitude. It is in the quiet that the storm within is calm. The world will try to convince you that success requires hustle every moment, that movement equals progress. But true elevation begins when you learn to pause, not to numb, but to be still and aware. Isaiah 30:15 says, "In quietness and in trust shall be your strength," not in volume, not in speed, in quietness. When you spend time alone, truly alone, you come face to face with the unfiltered truth of who you are. And that moment, though uncomfortable, is the birthplace of growth. Your fears rise, your insecurities echo, but so do your dreams, your values, your purpose. Silence becomes the mirror, and if you dare to look, you'll see the next version of yourself, waiting to be born. Nikola Tesla understood this. While others chased applause, he embraced solitude. Hours, sometimes days, spent in mental silence. He built worlds in his imagination. He didn't just invent machines. He saw them before they were real. His solitude was not a weakness. It was his superpower. Because he learned what most people never discover. Solitude is a portal to genius. But you don't need to be an inventor to practice this power. You just need courage. The courage to turn off the noise, to shut down the notifications, to walk into a room without music, without messages, just you and your mind. And then listen, not with fear, but with faith. Trust that what you hear in the silence is exactly what you need. We live in a society that celebrates busyness, the calendar full of appointments, the inbox flooded with requests, the mind always on. But that isn't strength, that's survival. And you were not born to survive, you were born to create, to lead. And leaders must retreat before they advance. They must listen before they speak. They must know themselves before they guide others. So make it a habit, a daily ritual. Even 5 minutes of stillness can alter your trajectory. Sit with your thoughts, ask yourself real questions. What am I avoiding? What am I chasing? Who am I becoming? You don't need the world's opinion, you need your own awareness. Because the stronger your relationship with yourself, the less you need from the world. You stop begging for validation. You stop bending for approval. You become grounded, not in noise, but in knowing. And that, my friend, is where true freedom begins. When you can be alone with yourself and feel complete. When silence becomes sanctuary, not punishment. That's when your power multiplies. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is the presence of purpose. Embrace it. And watch your mind grow stronger than ever before. When your focus is fractured, your life becomes scattered. Tasks go unfinished. Dreams stay on paper. Energy gets drained in 10 different directions, and none of them lead anywhere meaningful. It's like pouring water into 10 cups and watching them all stay empty. But when your focus becomes singular, when it is aimed at growth, aimed at mastery, aimed at one meaningful pursuit, momentum builds. And with momentum, power is inevitable, like a river carving a canyon. Consistency in one direction transforms everything. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. The river isn't fast, but it is relentless. And that is what separates the average from the exceptional. Most people dabble. They try a little of this, a little of that. They start businesses, then abandon them. Set goals, then forget them. Begin disciplines, then drop them. The result? A life filled with fragments. Pieces of potential scattered across time. But power is found in completion, not in starting, but in finishing. Not in curiosity, but in commitment. James 1:8 gives us a warning. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. The unstable man is not evil. He's simply unfocused. He says yes to too much. He pivots too soon. He abandons the hard path for the easy one. And so his life never stabilizes. Focus brings order. Focus builds strength. When you pick one goal, just one, and chase it with intention, the universe starts to respond. Doors open, resources appear, people take you seriously. Not because you're lucky, but because you're clear. You're not sending mixed signals. You've declared your direction.